Welcome to another episode of Crimson Sin with Tamsin Leigh. I am your host, Tamsin Leigh. Full show notes and sources can be found in the description. Today's recent crime news episode follows the case of 49-year-old West Virginia mother Julie Miller, who has been charged in connection with the death of her 14-year-old daughter. The teenager has been identified as Kennedy Miller by a close family friend. On Wednesday, April 17th, the Boone County Sheriff's Office responded to a call regarding a teenager in cardiac arrest. When authorities arrived, Kennedy was found deceased in the bathroom of her home in an emaciated state. A complaint reviewed by West Virginia Metro News stated the girl's physical state was shocking, with an obvious emaciated skeletal state. Investigators believe the teenager had an undiagnosed eating disorder and had not received medical treatment for the illness in the last 4 years. The victim's grandmother told investigators that Kennedy hadn't been eating for several months and her physical health worsened to the point where she could not perform everyday tasks on her own. The grandmother further stated that the teenager had not been to school since 2019 or 2020, nor had she left the house in the last 4 years. The sheriff's office stated they believed the teenager was being homeschooled. Court documents revealed that Julie Miller's relatives informed law enforcement that the teenager had been suffering from an eating disorder and had not been eating for months before her tragic death. This pointed to the fact that Julie Miller failed to seek the necessary help and support for her daughter's condition, leading to her untimely death. An autopsy was ordered to shed light on the factors contributing to the teenager's death. The results of the autopsy would play a crucial role in determining the legal charges to be brought against Julie Ann Miller. Currently, Julie Miller is charged with child neglect resulting in death and is being held on a $250,000 bond. Media outlets are currently pressing authorities for information regarding whether or not Kennedy was being homeschooled or if CPS had received complaints from relatives. There have not been any developments on these questions as of this recording. Former teachers of Kennedy's at Brookview Elementary remembered her as a smart, vibrant, and happy child who loved to sing. This tragic incident has shed light on the devastating consequences of neglect and the urgent need for awareness and support regarding mental health and eating disorders. If you or someone you know is struggling with an eating disorder or mental health issues, it is important to reach out for help. I am including some resources in today's show notes as well as the description of this video for those interested in these resources. Oklahoma police are conducting a homicide investigation after finding 5 deceased bodies on Monday, April 22nd in Yukon. Authorities were notified at 9:35 a.m. of 5 deceased bodies, including 2 children, inside a home. Upon entering, investigators stated all 5 people had injuries consistent with a homicide. Authorities who arrived on the scene retreated from the home once they confirmed all victims were deceased. They are waiting to obtain a search warrant before looking for evidence in the home. The Mustang Police Department confirmed 2 of the children were students in their district. One was a 6th grade student attending Meadowbrook Intermediate, and the other was a 9th grade student attending Mustang High School. It was confirmed that another person who died in the incident was a 2023 Mustang Public Schools graduate. The investigation into this homicide is in its very early stages. The connection between the 5 people has not been confirmed, and additional information about the victims has yet to be released at the time of this recording. In Ohio, William J. Brock fatally shot an Uber driver because he wrongly assumed she was part of a scheme to collect $12,000 in bond money for a relative. Lolitha Hall was a victim of the same con as she was summoned by the grifters to William Brock's home to retrieve a bogus package for delivery. He claimed that he believed Hall was there to collect the money that the con artists wanted. William Brock is now facing murder charges, which he has pled not guilty. Uber is helping investigators to try and catch whoever was behind the con. The grift is known as a grandparent scam or fraud that exploits older people's love for their family. Callers will claim to be anyone from grandchildren to police, telling the older folks something terrible happened and that their younger relative needs money. This is a scam that has been going on for years. My grandfather was even a part of this scam, but luckily he didn't send money because the person called him by the wrong name. We don't use grandpa. So far, what is known to have happened in this case is that 81-year-old William Brock received scam calls on the morning of March 25th. The caller claimed that one of William's younger relatives was incarcerated and turned to threats and demand for money. While Brock was on the phone, he received a request through the Uber app to pick up a package from his home for delivery. 61-year-old Lolitha Hall was unaware of the attempted scam. The sheriff's office stated, upon being contacted by Miss Hall, Mr. Brock produced a gun and held her at gunpoint, making demands for identities of the subjects he had spoken with on the phone. Lolitha was unarmed and never threatened Brock. She also never made any demands of him. William Brock then took her cell phone and refused to allow her to leave. When she attempted to get back into her vehicle, he shot her. He then shot her a second and third time. Brock then called 911 to report he shot someone on his property who was trying to rob him. Body cam footage from responding police officers shows Brock briefly discussing what he said had happened. William Brock stated, "I'm sure glad to see you guys out here because I've been on this phone for a couple of hours with this guy trying to say to me I had a nephew in jail and had a wreck in Charleston and just kept hanging on and needing bond money. And this woman was supposed to get it." The footage shows investigators discussing $12,000 sitting on a table in William's house. It also shows a Clark County Sheriff's Office detective speaking on the phone with the man who was talking to Brock earlier. The man on the phone identified himself as an officer and told the detective, "You're going to be in trouble." When the detective at Brock's residence identified herself as an actual police officer, the phone quickly disconnected. During another call with the man, the detective told him the Uber driver was in a serious accident, in the hospital, and not doing well. Uber stated that they were working with investigators to look into an account that sent Hall to William Brock's home and described her death as a horrific tragedy. An obituary for Lolitha Hall described her as the parent of a son and stepson, a devoted member of her church, and a talented cook known for her delicious pound cakes. She retired from Ohio's Regional Income Tax Agency and also worked in behavioral health at a school and for Uber. Her son Mario Hall spoke of how close they were even though they lived in different states. Often speaking on the phone multiple times a day, he said they had a bond like no other. He also stated, "Thank you for all your sacrifices and all the things you have instilled in me. You're the best mom that anyone could ask for, and I promise to continue to make you proud." What are your thoughts on these cases so far? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and follow for more true crime news and deep dive episodes from me. Thank you for listening and your support. Stay safe, and I will see you for the next episode. Bye.